Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. It is Story Time Live. Can you believe that? It's episode, what is it, 64? I don't even keep track. I should probably keep track so that when I report what episode it is, I'm not incorrect. Dragon Majesty is first tonight. Welcome, Dragon Majesty. Dragon Ball Talk. A lot of dragon names. And people is number 2, and RDV is third. Sorry for the little bit of delay tonight, and also sorry if you hear some echo. We've been doing some house remodeling, and I'm in a new room, and all the carpet's been taken out. It's been replaced with hardwood, and I don't have a lot of sound dampening right now, so it's not the best. It's not the best acoustics, I guess, for doing that. So I don't know how it's going to sound until it's all over. I can hear it in my headphones, though. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully everyone's having a good night. Eric Breen's in the house. Ed Brewer's here. Dominic Powell. I Am True Skills. Lord. Zach Richmond, that is. Except no substitutions. Maranya is here. Christopher Barker. Oh man, just going down, seeing every name that's unique. Nalo. Speaking of unique, haven't seen you in a while, Nalo. Long time no see. Yeah, I was doing some last minute things, I decided I need to hang some curtains in here, try to get some sound dampening, but I don't know how much of an improvement it made. That was a last minute thing. Let's see. Eric says, I identify with this comment as being first for the Tuesday show. Oh, jeez. Hope you guys have a nice, refreshing beverage. You know I always do. Drinking some Stella Artois tonight. Ed Brewer's here says, you know you made it when you reached 700 subscribers on YouTube. Did I hit 700? Or have I not made it yet? I don't even know. Someone tell me if I hit 700. I can't see my own subscriber count. Or at least not on the screen that I'm on. Dominic says, good evening. What's up? I Am True Skills. Lord says, hi, Ash. A bunch of hellos. Dragon says, why no music? Dragon Majesty, what? You got Now I gotta say your whole names because there's 2 dragons. Dragon Majesty says, woohoo, 700, the number of issues Bendis phoned it in on. Oh, that's a funny one. Okay, who wants some dash back to $6.99? What a jerk. I don't know who that could be, but I'm sure that it rhymes with ween. Let's see. The crystal is the heart of the blade. The Jedi are the crystal of the Force. The heart is the crystal of the Jedi. That sounds like some extended universe nonsense. Ranyev says, chair dancing time, love the music. Me too, but I hate when YouTube scrolls my chat and I can't keep track of what I'm doing. Ash is not late. He's early for the next story time. Let's go with that one. Let's see. Dragon Ball Talk is saying Dragon Blood Bud on PS4, all caps. So I guess he's promoting his PS4 name. My username is Ash1138 on pretty much everything. So it's on Twitter, Xbox, PS4, Steam, any of those places you want to find me. I mostly play Xbox, some PC. Sometimes I have a PS4. It's sort of just sitting idle at the time being, and I don't have the PS4 online service right now to play online games. Anyway, let's see. RDV says, I grabbed a can of SpaghettiOs. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay, yeah. I'm get some Chef Boyardee at least. Let's see. I think my one time only share out your stream worked. Already I asked for 1 subscriber. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. All are one, Ash, says Chris. And ever played Ghostbusters on PS Now? I haven't, but I'm guessing you're asking RDV. He's the Ghostbusters guru. Let's see. To Heal Him 29 EU is not canon now. Well, it was never really canon to begin with, but whatever. Potatoes, tomatoes, oranges. Let's see. Eric says, it wasn't me. You missed when I sincerely congratulated you reaching 700, which I now take back. So, yeah. Let me scroll, because the chat doesn't lie. Nope, no congrats. Oh, wait, never mind. Back to 700. Congratulations, Ash. Very well deserved. So you did congrats, but you did it after I dropped to $6.99. So, I don't know, Eric. Let's see. SpaghettiOs are pretty good. Generic ones can suck, but this name... No. Oh, SpaghettiOs. Oh. I am one of those people. Some people are picky about what they eat. Well, I am picky about what they eat. But I mean, some people, they have limited tastes on food. And, like some people just don't like seafood, or some people don't like Chinese or something. I like every kind of food. There is no delineation. I like every kind of meat, every kind of, if it's not some strange, bizarro, strange foods episode of something, like, I like it all. The one thing I can't stand, SpaghettiOs are nasty. RDV says I put hot dogs in mine. You got to put something in it because it's the sauce. That's the problem. This the Franco-American sauce that they make. That's why I said at least get Chef Boyardee. Chef Boyardee I could get behind. Chris says, you are but a youngling, Ash. Learn the ways of the Force. I'm not a youngling. You might want to take that back. I've seen every Star Wars when they originally came out in theaters. So I am of the Star Wars generation. I am absolutely. I wish I was a youngling. Wish I could go back. Sliced up hot dogs and SpaghettiOs. That is. There's bachelor food, then there's like really bad bachelor food, and then there's whatever RDV's doing over there. Hey, but you do you. As long as you like it, I guess really that's ultimately all that matters. It's like comic books. If you like it, it's all good. Eric says we have to go back. We do. We absolutely do. Things are crazy in the world right now. Hopefully it's not too crazy where you are. I've been tuning out and as much as I can because it's just been. Oh, I accidentally just clicked on Twitter too. What am I doing? Stop. Someone needs to be here to slap me. I don't know what's going on. But I have been reading some comics, a few. I'm all caught up on Oblivion Song, which is one of my favorite books. If I could only get Chase and me to have a time schedule that we could meet, we've been talking about doing that. Nalo's in the chat, hopefully still. I don't know. He kind of comes and goes. But Nalo, I would really like to talk with you and maybe see if you're interested in doing some more collaboration on some like indie books. I really want to do indie stuff because my God, the mainstream is failing me. But I read the most recent Hawkman, and it was only pretty good. it wasn't amazing. I don't know. I'm hoping that Venditti didn't like get the call and be like, "Yo, wrap it up. You're done." And he's just like, "Oh crap, I got like 3 issues I gotta fill. What do I do?" It wasn't bad. Venditti, I don't think is capable of writing a bad comic. The worst comic I've ever read of his was still better than 90% of the stuff that's out there. But it just, yeah, I guess that's the thing when you're able to elevate so high and just be like, look at this book is amazing, and then you just sort of do this average issue. I don't know. And he often starts very slow, so it could be that, but the series is ending, so it I don't know. It had the Justice Society, which I am completely a noob on. I know who they are, but I've never read Justice Society stuff. So it was actually, I think, my first Justice Society story, because the comic it's Justice Society. So if you like Justice Society, maybe you should pick it up and read it. It's pretty cool. And the issue takes place in the Golden Age, so that's pretty cool. I have this feeling from reading that issue. I'm thinking that the Vegas odds right now are 50-50 that Venditti is getting a Justice Society book for the long term. I'm hoping I'm right. Cross my fingers. The reason I say 50-50 is because I'm also still thinking strongly it could be Superman, and Bendis is getting axed, and I'm thinking it could be, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't necessarily know if Venditti is the best, if that's the best use of his talent is Superman. I certainly wouldn't complain because he's great, and if it is the book that he said. I just, several months back, he's like, I just got my dream book at DC. We don't know what that is yet. If that is Superman, then that means he really whatever he's going to write, he loves. So that's why I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes you can put a writer on a book that's really not their cup, it's not them, and they don't nail it right. It's like when they put Grant Morrison on X-Men, it didn't work. And I know some people are going to go, what shame on you, Ash? Of course it worked. That was great. I know it wasn't even good for Grant Morrison standards, and it certainly wasn't good on X-Men standards, unless you count today's X-Men as X-Men standards, in which case it was stellar. Let's see. Ronnie says to Ash, SpaghettiOs are the Bendis of canned spaghetti style foods. Would it be SpaghettiOs or the canned, or would it be the alphabet ones, Maranya? Right? Because of their wordy. Get it? See what I did there? Chris says, I never, if it was never canon, Ash, why did the Disney announce to decanonize the EU? How do I explain this? number one, Disney doesn't know what the hell they're even talking about. I don't know if Disney knew that it wasn't canon, to be honest. But also, Lucas had always said that the only things that were canon in his Star Wars were the movies. Period. Now he did fudge that a little bit when he did what was it? The Empire one. What was it called? Oh, damn. I can't remember what it was called. Shadows of the Empire. He did Shadows of the Empire. He collaborated with some people to have that written. And it was supposed to be a story that took place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and stuff like that. And I remember when that came out, he said, this is kind of canon. Like, this is part of the story. But the thing is, it never was, like, according to Lucas. Now, all that really matters is what kind of goes on in your head, if you want to accept it as canon. But I think what Disney was trying to say was just like, all that old stuff, we're not even going to go that way in the extended universe. That was the point of what they were doing. Because all those things that had happened in the extended universe, they just wanted to distance that and be like, no, we're having a basically a different extended universe, which was stupid for them to say that this going forward, all this stuff was going to be canon. And that was another reason they made that announcement, is because while the extended universe was never actually canon, Disney decided our fictional extended universe will be canon. And then, to which I was like, that is retarded. You do not even know what you're doing here, because there will be way, way too many writers, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people who aren't overseeing every single project. And for the first couple of years, it'll be okay because there won't be that much stuff. But you fast forward 10, 15 years, and there's like 100 different novels out and a couple hundred different comics and video games and all this stuff and cartoons and all. They're going to have all sorts of clash between it was stupid. It just keep the movies canon, have a fictional universe, and say, you know what, we're going to tie it in as close as we can, but if we fudge, this is only like a pseudo canon. I don't know. I don't even care anymore. It's really sad. Star Wars is the most influential, most important piece of fiction in my personal life that's ever existed. And I just feel like, I mean, I like it still. Like I always root for it to succeed, but it doesn't hit me in the feels like it used to. But I'll still see every movie. And when the next Star Wars movie comes out, I'll be first in line. Well, we don't have to stand in line anymore. We just go on the internet. But breaking news, Bendis to pen new JSA series staying on Superman in action. Eric, why do you hate me so much? Let's see. He says, I think 27 was the reintroduction to the JSA and a battle issue. 28 and 29 will be stellar, I have no doubt. I think they're going to be good. I think, unfortunately, whenever you cancel a series short, you don't give the writer the time to end it on their own, on their clock, you're going to run into a problem. I don't think Venditti's going to phone anything in. He really seems to have too much integrity. So I'm sticking with it. I love it. I'm going to follow Venditti wherever he goes. He's just earned so much respect from me. And I hope that he doesn't do something I hate, like Harley Quinn or Kate Bishop. That would be terrible. Although maybe he can make him cool again. Or not again. Well, I guess Harley was cool once. Kate Bishop, never cool. Let's see. Chris Barker says, Ash, the new Star Wars prequels were the best thing for Star Wars. Without them, I and so many others probably wouldn't give a shit about Star Wars. Well, then you wouldn't give a shit about something great, because the original trilogy is the greatness. The prequels just rode on the coattails of it. And if you wouldn't like it because there was no prequels, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't. I mean, I'm okay with the prequels because there is a lot in there that harkens to Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars, but Lucas is not the greatest director, especially when he's not trying to direct, and he decided he could just direct from the editor's chair. I mean, he even bragged about it, and that wasn't the best thing. Also, Lucas is a rich billionaire, and he didn't have anyone to say no to him. He made those movies completely on his own. He Bendis'd it. He had no one to tell him, yo, dude, this shit stinks. Like, the original trilogy, he had to answer to the studios, he had to answer to his editors, and there's so many people were involved in like helping shape his vision. It was still his vision, but like they helped him. They basically fixed the holes when the ship was leaking. And I think he needed people like that. I think those prequels would have been a lot better if he would have wrote them, if he would have hired some collaborative writers like he did with the original one with Lawrence Kasdan, just to help him with screenplay treatments, and then put on some great directors to actually direct the screenplays. Like, could you get a Steven Spielberg Star Wars? He's talked about it all the time. He wanted Steven Spielberg to do a Star Wars and never did. That would have been great to see at least one movie done by him. But there's some other good directors out there. Anyways, I don't know. They are what they are. That there's nothing like the original three to me. Let's see. Eric says, I need Pringles. We all need Pringles all the time. Promise me that you'll never stop being you and not afraid to be honest with someone, says Computer Robots. What's up, buddy? I like seeing Computer Robots. He always respects me for being me. He never makes me feel bad for being me, which I really appreciate, because I know I can come off harsh and salty and, bitter and blunt and untactful. And I don't mean to bother anyone if I'm raining on your parade or whatever. I'm not trying to do that. This is me sharing my feelings. Let's see. RDV says, quick, somebody, Ash. I used to be able to eat like that. Then I got old, says Eric. Yeah. Let's see. RDV has an ulcer? That's terrible, man. You're too young to have an ulcer. Eric could be meaner. He could say that both Bendis and Slott are going to tag team and write Iron Man. I don't know. I almost think that together they would be better, because I don't think Dan Slott's failures are the same as Bendis's failures. So maybe like if they put their heads together, they would be less shitty. Let's see. Bendis is gonna jump the shark. He's gonna make Damian bisexual. Oh God. I'm gonna tell you what, I'm really bothered that DC is getting rid of, well, not getting rid of, but they're putting Damian on mothballs, or I don't know what the hell they're doing. They already ruined Connor Kent, and now they're going to take Damian off the table too. Like, what? DC, can you please stop trying to fix what's not broken? Damian is not one of the things that's broken at DC. Superman is very broken at DC. You need to fix that. Fix that, okay? Not Damian. Connor Kent, extremely broken. Possibly even more broken than Superman. Fix that. Right? Let's see. Wally West. You broke him. Fix it. Like, fix the stuff that's actually broken, and stop going, oh, you know what? These things are going up. People like what's happening. Let's cancel it. Let's tweak it, change it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And they need to stop. Let's see. Ed, I'm with you. Lord of the Rings is the superior saga. No. Lord of the Rings is good, though. Peter Jackson did a pretty good job with Lord of the Rings. The thing about Lord of the Rings, though, is the last movie is the worst movie. And so, as good as it is, I feel like the order of the quality of films is Fellowship, then Two Towers, then Return of the King. So it's like a stellar trilogy that slightly lessens as it goes on. Whereas Star Wars gets better as it goes, right? So you can't beat the ending of Return of the Jedi. It's one of the greatest endings to a fantasy, sci-fi, whatever you want to call it, film ever. But I'm also really biased, so what are you going to do? Let's see. Did you hear Marvel announce that Kitty Pryde Parade is now bisexual? I don't know what you're talking about. You're making shit up. Damien got broken by Adam Glass, who turned him into a regressional kid. I don't think he got broken by Adam Glass. I mean, Adam Glass certainly wasn't helping Damien, but he wasn't out of the realm. I mean, when Tomasi was writing him in Detective Comics, which is out right now, Detective Comics, it's not like this was something a couple years ago. Tomasi's run on Detective Comics is very recent. He was writing Damien great. I was loving the character treatment. The only thing I was having a problem with, and now it kind of makes sense, is that Damien wasn't featured enough, which is really strange if you know me, because I've always been an anti-Robin guy. I've always been one of those guys like Batman's better without a Robin. I don't like Robins. But lately, as I've been trying to open my mind and understand things, I'm having second thoughts and a new perspective, if you will, on the whole Robin thing. And I especially, of all the Robins, hated Damien the most. Like, I was like, I just hate, but now Damien I like the best as Robin. I like Damien specifically because he's broken, right? The original Dick Grayson, which I think is the best all in all ideal Robin, because he was there, he kind of made Batman better. He was helping to fix a broken Batman. That's a great quality, but now I think Batman is not quite the same as he was. I think there's slight fundamental changes to the Batman of modern times, and now Batman is actually more fixed, and he's now fixing a broken son. And I like the fact that Damien has these problems, and Tomasi doesn't run away from him. He doesn't try to say, "Oh no, Damien's fine. He's not this asshole kid at all." No, instead, he uses that as a tool for character growth and development, and it helps Batman be a more interesting character, because we get to see Bruce Wayne trying to be a father, the father he didn't have, and the father that he knows Damien needs, while still balancing and trying to be Batman. It adds a layer of complexity, I think, that is great. In many ways, the same that I love Connor Kent for Superman, even though Connor Kent doesn't play that same type of role. He's a different kind of son for a different kind of father, and it just, together they work so beautifully. Tomasi got both of them. I wish I could have Tomasi go back on Superman so bad. And Super Sons. That spot. You want to talk about fixing something that wasn't broken? Tomasi Superman and Tomasi Super Sons was sailing along just perfectly, and they decided, nope, we're gonna kill both of them. Man, now I'm really salty. Thanks. Maybe Ash needs Bendis to write his life story. Oh my God, I'm already wordy enough. Can you imagine if Bendis got a hold of my story? Let's see. Where are we going? I wasn't even thinking of the films, Ash. I was thinking of the books. The books? Well, the books are absolutely... If you're talking about Lord of the Rings, no. Like, Tolkien was a great imaginer. Like, he created this world of, Middle Earth. But he wasn't a great writer. There was greatness in those books, but I think one of the things that made Peter Jackson's trilogy so amazing is that he took some of the failings of Tolkien to be able to tell a story, and he told it better. Except for Return of the King, where he dropped the ball. I was like, what are you doing? I don't understand. Ed says, good point on Super Sons. Thank you, Ed. I don't get a whole lot of compliments or these days or any credit, but I'll take it where it's due. RDV says, ew, I found an article saying that Ilyana and Kitty were lesbian lovers before Kitty liked Colossus. Of course. Of course. Well, I mean, Wolverine's gay now. I mean, he's porking Cyclops, so whatever. It's just all sexual deviancy. I'm this close from throwing in the towel with Marvel and just being like, screw this. There's a couple. I mean, Daredevil's really great. I love it, but they're really upsetting me. And Eric says, check your DMs. Are you talking to me? Am I supposed to check my DMs right now? Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. Sorry. I just had a little throw up in my mouth moment there. Let's do this. So, courtesy of Eric Breen, sent me the link. Marvel just confirmed another superhero is canonically bisexual after 40 years of queer baiting, and fans are ecstatic. Oh yeah, I'm sure fans are just, they're just, I don't know what they're doing. Fans are ecstatic. Pink news. They're not biased at all, I'm sure. Marvel appears to have confirmed X-Men superhero Kate Pryde is queer after alluding to her sexuality for 4 decades. For decades, Marvel fans have speculated that Kate, formerly known as Kitty, Pryde is part of the LGBT plus community, thanks in large part to some heavy-handed queer baiting. Now, 40 years after the character's first appearance in Uncanny X-Men, a new comic has cemented her status as a bisexual icon. Marauders 12, part of Marvel's Down the X relaunch initiative, details Kate's first moments after being resurrected. She was killed by the villainous Sebastian Shaw, only to be brought back to life on Mutant Nation Krakoa. She's welcomed back to the ranks with a party, during which she catches the eye of Rachel Summers, who fans have long believed her to be in love. Pink, it's Rachel Gray. Get it right? It's Rachel Gray. Hello? She's not going to take the name of her father. Rachel leaves before Kate can speak with her, and so she has magic teleport them away to get some fresh air. Kate then finds herself in a tattoo shop and before long shares a kiss with the female tattoo artist. Why? Oh yeah, because in comicdom, when you're revealed to be gay after 40 years of not being gay, then you just hook up with people randomly. Because that's how Iceman worked, right? Like he was gay all the time. Except 40 years later, he's just randomly just now hook up all the time. Hook up. Like, why wasn't he doing this before? Fans were naturally ecstatic that Marvel is finally allowing Kate Pryde to express her sexuality. No, I haven't heard anyone actually say anything positive about this. And finally allowing her to express her sexuality is a statement that says, this whole time she was gay. She wasn't. They just did it now. It's called retconning. There's no finally about it. It's, hey, guess what? So it wasn't like she was restricted from coming out because she wasn't. There was no inhibitions. And also she's fictional. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. She's just a made up thing. Kitty Pryde is canonically bisexual. The only people that are happy about this are people that don't read comics, and they just cheer for the team getting a new member. Like, oh, it's promoting our agenda. Let's see Thomas. Let me click on Thomas here in Twitter, And let's see if you have any comic stuff. Pretty much just tweets about All Elite Wrestling and X-Men, I guess. Okay, so I guess he likes X-Men because, X-Men are the most progressive of all comics stuff. But let's scroll through. You get wrestling. They always love wrestling. What is it with SJWs and their wrestling? Okay. There's one comic thing. Okay, so there's legitimately someone who dabbles in comics here and there. Let's see. Shar. Who are you? Do you love comics? Oh, you got a comic? Okay, well. So a little bit of credit then. These people actually apparently do pay attention to comics. Whether they buy them or not is the jury's still out, but fair enough. Credit where credit's due. Pink actually quoted two people who cared. Let's see. Others were simply glad that the comics are finally dropping the subtext that has been picked up on for decades. For decades? No. No. I just recently, not too long ago, read one of the earliest Kitty Pryde stories, Days of Future Past, where we get to go into the future of Kitty Pryde. And guess what? Way into the future of Kitty Pryde, she's not gay. She's not. She never was. Ever. There was no subtext. And if you're trying to say that before she was in love with Colossus, Kitty Pryde joined X-Men when she was 13 years old. So are we now trying to say that it wasn't just she had lesbian relationships because she also had she was underaged? Is this another cuties thing? Lame. I'm done with this. Thanks for sending me the link, Eric. Let's see. How many people did I alienate on this rant? Let's see. Ash, you're confusing Connor Kent for the real son of Superman, Jonathan Kent, but I agree, we're both broken. No, Marani, I wasn't confusing the two. I was just slip of the tongue, and for some reason I was saying Connor when I meant Jonathan the whole time. So for those of you that were listening and I was talking about, I never once actually meant Connor Kent. I apologize. My mouth was saying not what I should have been. I was actually in my head I was thinking the character Jonathan and saying Connor. It's like when I slip up and say Zack Snyder and Scott Snyder. Sorry, I apologize. Chris Barker says, Ash hates Lord of the Rings. No, I don't, actually. I love Lord of the Rings. Let's see. Ed says, I disagree about J.R.R.'s writing. Even as a teen, I was propelled to Middle-earth. Ed, I would suggest that when you read Lord of the Rings, you were not very savvy, or, you weren't very experienced reader, I guess. You hadn't read a lot of stuff, perhaps. And so, much like how some people who jump into comics today might go, Brian Michael Bendis is the greatest writer ever. Well, have you read anyone else? Not really. That's kind of my point. Like, if you give a little kid McDonald's, that's like the greatest food that ever was until their palate develops and then they taste other great things, grow up, I'm not trying to disparage you at all, but Tolkien's not a great writer. He has greatness in him. There was great things. One of my favorite scenes of any books ever are in Return of the King. There's a page. I wish I could find the page right now and read it to you because it's one of the best things I've ever read. And it's the scene where the ringwraith comes and breaks through the gate, the first gate of Minas Tirith, and Gandalf is standing there to face him. And the way he writes that, it's superb and stupendous. And shame on you, Peter Jackson, for leaving that out of the film. the best thing that Tolkien ever wrote, and he didn't put it in the film. Chris says, clean up your puke, Ash. No way. Kate Pryde can clean up my puke. That's what she's good for. Someone needs to explain to me why SJW blue-haired land whales are obsessed with the sexuality of fictional characters. Because they want to justify their own sexuality. Computer Robot says, did you heard that that's not a way a robot talks, computer. Did you heard that Marvel has declared a new arch nemesis for Wolverine? Solemn over Sabretooth. According to them, Solemn is the new arch nemesis. We just don't know it yet. Well, that's because all mutants are on the same team now. Marvel killed all the X-villains. Not literally, but figuratively. You can't have Magneto as a great X-Men villain anymore because he's on the team. Apocalypse, same thing. Mr. Sinister, yep. Sabretooth, you got it. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Hellfire Club. All the great X-Men villains are all now heroes. So they don't have anyone. They don't have any villains. It's just humans. Humans are their villain. Reading X-Men is like reading a comic about Germans who are upset at the Jews and just are like, and so they write stories about how Jews are bad people. That's what it feels like to read any of these X books lately. They don't actually have villains. They just have people who were born with the wrong genetics and must be exterminated. It's really disgusting. Zach says, I still have a sliver of hope that everything Hickman is doing with the X-Men is just some big twist. Like, maybe all the real X-Men are dead and have been replaced with clones. Well, let's imagine this for a second, Zach. Because I used to be like that too. Hawks and Pox is legitimately great. It is legitimately one of the greatest X-Men stories I've ever read. And that's saying something. So that actually got me to give Marvel a chance, because before I was like, screw you, I ain't touching your X-Men. I haven't touched your X-Men in 20 years because it's all shit. All of it. But I legitimately decided to give this a chance because of that. And then it sucked. And then I thought like you did. And I said, this can't be right. There's got to be something's going on. And I do think something is going on. But that doesn't excuse years of terrible comics so that you can have a twist and be like, ta-da, it wasn't actually real.
Soulmate is connected.
Oh, that's my soulmate. Oh. Thought I turned that off. Sorry. That's my Bluetooth speaker. Where was I? Oh, so let's assume for a second that maybe that's true. So you get the big reveal. Ta-da! It was all a ruse. This wasn't actually really the X-Men. Why am I wasting my time with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make these comics good. It makes them understandable. It goes, oh, okay, these were terrible people all along. Like, for example, going back to my Nazi Germany analogy. We know that the Nazis were bad. We know the big reveal, because, by the way, in the 30s, Germany was actually considered good. Like, many Americans, mostly Democrats, actually supported the Nazi Party in Germany. They were considered fine, upstanding people. Many of the Germans, most of them actually, like, supported them into power. They didn't just come as a conquering force and make everyone bow to their will. If you've seen these pictures or videos you can see of Hitler at his rallies, he had millions of people cheering him on, and they loved him. When we went into war with Germany, we knew, okay, hey, look, you're conquering Europe. That can't stand. Like, we're going to take the side of our allies. Like, that's too far. But we did not know the nature of the evil until we actually got into Germany. And then the troops discovered the concentration camps. And it was like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? That shocked the world. So now fast forward to today. most people come into the story of Nazi Germany with the end first. The first thing you're taught is they killed millions of Jews. Before you learn anything else about Germany, that's what you learn. That's the big twisteroo at the end. Ta-da, they were genocidal maniacs. So what if we learn about that? Oh, ta-da, these are clones, genocidal, whatever. So do I want to go back today and read a story of Germany becoming this way and killing people? Like, it's just disgusting. I don't want to read about these people. They're bad, evil people. And they're not, and it's not even good writing. You've got people like Vita Ayala writing this crap. Like, it's just, I'm all for a good twist, and I'm not anti-Hickman, right? One of the comics I collect on my pull list is Decorum, and it seems pretty good so far. And like I said, I still support Hawks and Pox, but I'm way in the weeds. I'm going to drop that. That's just sharing with you my thoughts on that. If there's a big twist, I don't even care. I'm like, okay, cool. So these first 24 issues of these comics on 10 different titles were all wasted and worthless. So you could have a big twist. Whoop, whoop. No. Let's see. New 52 is Tolstoy compared to the last 8 years of Marvel, says Eric Green. Yup. RDV says, I can't wait till 10 years from now and Marvel goes back to being fucking normal. Should I burst RDV's bubble or let him have? I'm going to let you have that positive thought, RDV, because I like you. You keep that positivity. These people are dumb, says RDV. Kitty Pryde was a lesbian back in X-Men Days of Future Past. That's why they cast Ellen Page for the role. Damn it. I can't argue with RDV's logic. I like Ellen Page. Dragon Ball says Ellen Page is cringy. I like her. So I don't know what I'm going to say about that. Hickman has to know that this new storyline with the X-Men is unsustainable. Here's another thing. A final thing I'm going to say on X-Men for tonight. And I talked about this with Nalo. If you guys saw that episode that I did with him on the Ash Wednesday live episode, I think it was episode 16. If you're curious, you want to go back. I talked about with him on that is the idea that Hickman is literally trolling Marvel. And that everything that's going on right now and all this crap and why it's so bad and all this stuff is because he's trolling Marvel. And this might be the most epic. This might be one of the most epic things that's ever happened in comics. And not because it's a great storyline, but because it could be revealed all at the end that he's like, haha, I punked you. Happy fixing X-Men now, 3 years down the road. And he just walks away laughing. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm actually hoping that's the big twist. I'm hoping that the big twist isn't in the story. I'm hoping the twist is in reality. That Hickman is just fucking Marvel over. And they don't even get it. And then all of these comics will read way different. These will all read way different when you go back and read the beginning of this Dawn of X and you know, oh my God, this was punking Marvel the whole time. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. That will make it. That's the only way I see this being redeemed. Let's see. Tehillim says, so no Spider-Man today. Oh, we're getting some Spider-Man, Tehillim. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the chat list, but you guys have been very, very active, to which I thank you all. I've even had to skip comments so I can get down. Eric says, the only reason X-Men were brought back was to make a bunch of them gay. Hickman was brought in to get eyeballs in the books. Prove me wrong. I got nothing. I don't remember Chris Marvel falling apart, fear itself, been down. I don't know. Watching the future, Computer Robot says, watching the future, Ash's suspicions and fears are going to come to fruition, that there's going to be more and diversity legacy characters taking up more mantles of his favorite characters. Computer Robot, I don't know what's going on, dude. I could not read that. Yeah, no, I've been saying for a long time, make every single character a black lesbian. Every single one. Captain America, black lesbian. All the X-Men, all black lesbians. Iron Man, black lesbian. Thor, black lesbian. Hulk, Black Les, make them all of them. That's the way you fix things, because the left, who argues for the diversity and inclusion, well, you got it. Are you happy now? I subscribe to this idea that the only true way to fix things is to really break them. Sometimes just, and I know I complain a lot. Like, I'm a complainer person, but complaining often doesn't work. And this is especially true like in the corporate world. If you've been at work and you tell your boss like, hey, this is all broken, they're just like, yeah, whatever, go do your job. They don't care. So, but if you make it all break and it starts costing the company money and because the things don't work, so exploit the hell, not out of people. You should never exploit people, but exploit the hell out of things that are busted to make them, to exacerbate it. Oh, you want diversity? Let's make it hyper, like everyone's black lesbian. Boom. There's no white people anymore. There's no men, and there's no straight people. No straight white men. Everyone, boom. Now, let's see how much Marvel sells. Let's see how much X-Men and Avengers and everything you sell when it's like that. They won't. And it'll break. But of course, that's why they'll never ever do it. So we're going to be stuck in this middle, this quagmire of constantly nipping at the edges. It's like little like ankle biter dogs that, just nip at your heels, but they're never really there. They can't really hurt you that bad, but they're so annoying that you just want to punt them across the room. I don't know what I was going with that. I need some more beer. Zach says, read faster, Ash. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Dum-da-dum. I didn't even have my comics prepped like I should because I was behind. We are reading Spider-Man. And I got Rise of Ultraman, courtesy of my boy, Sergeant Bats. Thank you, Sergeant Bats. You're probably not listening, but I am definitely going to read this, probably do a review, which I always do if people donate me a book. But yeah, I'm excited about that. Did I not do thought? Okay, this is what I hate about Comixology. You gotta borrow the book. Thought I did this. Read. All right. Morania says, nibbled to death by ducks. Eric says, Ash kicks dogs, unsubbed. I know, I said I want... Never mind. Some people just don't appreciate subtlety. All right, so I think I'm all caught up on the chat. Chris just had to stir my emotions. Kill Marvel, we must. I was actually putting that together as Star Wars, but I shouldn't have. I conflated two things. I thought he was quoting Kylo, kill it if we have to. Or was it kill the past? I don't know, I'm not even going to try to go back there. I'm just opening a can of worms. That's what I thought he was doing, but he wasn't. So I need to just step away and read some classic Spider-Man for Tehillim and RDV, who love their Bendis and they love their Spider-Man. And anyone else that falls in the same league, this is for you. Issue 3. And here we go. 70 years of Marvel Comics. Marvel can't add. When I got into Marvel Comics, it was on the 25th anniversary. So they're telling me that this book came out 35 years after that? Nope. They just added a bunch of years. so they can be like DC, because they're frauds. Moving on, sorry. Right there, yes. Right there we can see where the arachnid Oz experiment number 00 bit that Parker boy. Initially, the biological effects to the Parker boy were negative, very negative, and his chance for survival was very slim, fatal. But we now believe that it was the mixture of spider venom with the Oz, or is it O2? Is that a... God, I don't even know. I'm going to say Oz. Sorry. Now we believe that it was a mixture of the spider venom with the Oz that created the adverse effects to the boy's system. But even with the untested mixture of toxins and genealogy, the Oz was able to dominate the structural compounds, and the results to the boy's systems were nothing short of revolutionary. It was an accident, yes, but we have our first human test subject. And what he has shown us is that our time is now. Turn it off, please. We may very well hold in our hands the key that unlocks the next step of human evolution. And by we, of course, I mean me. I would like to recreate the Parker Oz accident under more scientific environments. Please, consider this. If the spider venom gave Parker the enhanced strengths of a spider, then treating the Oz with my own DNA and injecting it mainline will what? It will give me the enhanced strengths of me. You, sir? You want to inject yourself with the Oz compound? Glad we understand each other. Let's crunch some numbers and get this next phase rolling along. My name is Crusher Hogan, and I will crush your head like the pimple it is. Whatever. Wannabe. That's right. Who here is willing to take on the invincible Crusher? Who here has what it takes? If you do, if you think you can take the Crusher down, we have $500 cash money American for you. $500 from the man who can take our Crusher down. I feel like I've seen this somewhere. I feel like it's almost like Bendis is copying something. Oh my. I gotta get me that bank, bro. Do it, dude. Show him how it's done, Kong. Yo, I want in right here. No way, youngster. 21 and up. Sorry. No way. Insurance purposes. Oh my. Total rip. Get a driver's license and we'll talk. Total diss. Parker, go get him. You know what, Flash? How about you hop in the ring? And then when you lose, your family can sue his family. Oh, drop the mic. Oh, burn. Sick burn, Parker. Why is Peter Parker so small? Like what is he, like 5'4" there or something? Look how small he is. Look how tall Kong is. What is he, like 8 feet tall? Sorry. Whoa, Parker knocks one out of the park. The student has become the master, Sensei Thompson. Shut up, Weeble. I gotta get out of here before I slip and hurt myself on the testosterone. Peter, are you in the house? No, I'm not. Do you plan on eating dinner this year? What's for dinner? Meatloaf. Pizza? Meatloaf. Pizza? Meatloaf. Pizza? Pizza. I'll be down in 2 seconds. Pizza that looks and tastes an awful lot like meatloaf. Hey, medicine ball, you ready for me? You can't just jump in here like this, mister. Hey, I don't want this to crush her. You crazy runt. You looking to get hurt? Whatever. You're like the before picture. I could break you in half. Shit, man. I should have thought of that. What's going on here? Put that man down. Whoa. Hey, hey. Wham. The crusher is taken. The crusher is down. Oh my God, oh my God. He spanked the crusher, spanked him. Who are you, masked mystery man? Unveil yourself to the crowd. I believe this has my name on it. Are you a pro? I am now. You come down to the arena Monday night. I'll get you a spot on the show. You paying cash? If that's what it has to be, see you Monday. You okay? You think I ain't never been dropped on my head before? No, I was pretty sure you had been. How will... Oh, you'll know it's me. What is that? So the school faculty took up a collection on behalf of Peter. Peter is a fantastic student, and we all felt that the incident with Flash Thompson was unfair. We have decided to remain anonymous due to school politics. We hope you will honor our request in this area. We will hope to have more for you soon, as many faculty have pledged a donation, but have not paid yet. Best wishes. Wow, this is the nicest thing I have ever had happen to me in my entire life. He's such a special boy. Yo, Harry, for real. Didn't he pick this crusher dude up over his head? Did not. No, man, for real. And just wham. Wham? Total wham. Who was he? Just this skinny dude in like a mask. So listen, the geometry extra credits going to take... Wait, sorry. So listen, the geometry extra credits going to be take home. You want to do it together, or... I was thinking you could do a draft and I could do a draft and we could... Hello? Peter? Peter! Yeah, what? I'm sorry. Parker. What'd I do now, coach? That performance you laid on us yesterday, on the court. Can you do it again, or was it all lucky stuff? Why? Why? We're short, and now it looks like you've got the goods and been holding out on us. No way. I don't know. Show up to practice after school and let's see what you got. But you're not really thinking of... Come on, coach, don't do this to me. I'll be as good as gold by the end of the season. Sorry, kiddo, that's the game. But Parker, come on. Yeah, I'll be there. Man. Thump, 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 thump. Oh, look, our boy can play basketball. It's like we've always dreamed. He can grow up and get an NBA scholarship, and then he can kneel for the national anthem. Oh, sorry. Home 114, visitors 26. Yay, look at how awesome. Modern comics aren't all about self-aggrandizement at all. Oh, Peter's so sexy now that he plays sports. Sorry, I was ad-libbing stuff that's not really there. So, you want to do the geometry thing Monday night, or you want to do it with me? Well, duh. I only tried to ask you like a billion times and... Oh, crap. Monday. No, I can't. Why? I got a thing. You have a thing? I got a thing. What? Like a basketball thing? No, Never mind. Just never mind. Mary, It's big. Who is the masked surprise attacker? Who is it? Who is overpowering the invincible Crusher? They said it can't be done. They said it would never be done. This wasn't in the script. This isn't what I signed on for. Oh, quit your whining. Wham! Oh my. The Crusher is defeated. The Crusher is defeated. And the referee calls the fight finished. We have a new UCW champion. What's your name? I told you, I don't... We need a name, a stage name. Oh, the Spider. Is that... The Amazing Spider-Man. No, Ladies and gentlemen, the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's so clever, Bendis. You're so clever. Here you go, Spider-Man. You okay, Crusher? Yeah, I'm just great. Not too rough on you? Don't push it. Listen, Hotshot, I need a number where I can call you. Sorry, can't do it. Oi, so you're going to be a huge pain in my butt? Sure, why not? Listen, this anonymous stuff is for the birds, my friend. Way it's gotta be. If it gets back to me that you're getting paid under the table from me, you gonna fire me? Don't worry about it. All right, smart guy. Try to find your way back here Friday night. But next time, wear this. I had it made for you, special. Why? 'Cause, no offense, kid, with the getup you got, you kind of look like a dork. And they just left it under the door again? They just left it under the door. Is Peter home? I don't... Peter? Are you in the house? No, I'm not. Okay. I'll be down in a minute. So the wrestling guys made the Spider-Man costume for him. This is what the wrestling guys think a wrestler would wear. This doesn't even make sense. I'm thinking a spider right there. Some webs and we're in business. Hey, what's going on? Harry, this isn't... Do you people know the meaning of the words clamp down? The lab is off limits to unauthorized personnel. And that includes him, for God's sake. But what's going on? Why are you... Will you please remove him from the premises? What's going on? Harry, now is not really the time. We are good to go, sir. Everything checked and double-checked. We are good to go. Let's do it. I like that little smirk. Yeah. And that is the end of book 3, where nothing happens. Again, it's like the trademark of Bendis. I just writes nothing happening. He didn't even have to write that. That was like straight out of the Spider-Man movie, pretty much. Except for the fact that they made the costume for him. That's what he does. Like, how can I write this different? Oh, I'll make it so that they made the costume. Twist-a-rooney. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Well, let's see what you guys were chatting about the whole time while I was reading. I noticed that the chat really dies down when I'm reading. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's see. Chris Barker says, nope, Marvel is dead. It stays dead. Dragon Ball Talk says, no, not Ultimate, no. Why is he reading the worst Spider-Man comics ever made? Tell him. Those aren't the worst Spider-Man comics ever made, for sure. Eric Breen says, Common Core. RDV says, because it's in the title, quit your bitching. Yeah. Dragon Ball says, I gotta leave now and I am sad. Wait, do you have to leave because I'm reading Spider-Man? Or do you have to leave and you're sad because you're gonna miss Spider-Man? I'm confused. Eric Breen says, heading to Slumberland. Good night, kids. We're gonna miss Lazarus. You old man. Eric. Everyone says good night to Eric. And down at the bottom, Marani says, man, Bendis is really dragging out Amazing Fantasy 15 and using the Raimi movie ideas too. What a cheater. Yup. Man, not even good. Usually if you have like something core to build off of that someone did before you, you should be able to take that and like add to it. It just doesn't feel additive at all. It just feels like you subtract, like you just did, like you're like, oh, we're going to take the same thing as before, but we're going to make it dumber. Like, I don't know. It's not as terrible as modern Bendis. That is absolutely sure. But at the same time, I have to wonder, is it not as terrible because this is essentially a plagiarized story? Like literally Bendis is plagiarizing this story. Now it works because it's Marvel, and sometimes when you just retell a story that's already been told, you get away with it, right? But come on. Let's see. This book came out before that. This book didn't come out before that. Sam Raimi movie came out in the 90s. What? Let me double check this. I could have sworn Spider-Man was like 99. Let's see. IMDb. We will fact check. We're not fake news here. Oh, Spider-Man was 2002. For some reason, I thought it was 1999. All right. So, if it was 2002, that means it probably started going into production in the year 2000, because movies aren't just written and produced like the next month. Usually a couple years in development. I know it came out in the summer. So when did let's see, Ultimate Spider-Man #1 publishing date. Let's see if we can figure out. This is really great radio right now, right? You're like, oh, this is so boring. Okay, so 2000, so a couple years before. All right. So fact check complete. No Bendis cannot be accused of any stealing from Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Of course, Sam Raimi stole as well, though, like, I guess is from the Stanley Ditko stuff. But moving along, at least I know now the truth. I hate just making assumptions and being wrong and spreading misinformation to people. So we all know Ultimate Spidey is 2000, Raimi Spider-Man 2002, and I learned something. Bendis has access to the Marvel Studios even before it was officially Marvel Studios. It's possible he saw a script and borrowed ideas from it. No, it's possible, Branya, but I really doubt it because, remember, Bendis was not a huge name like today, right? Bendis was a scrappy young writer. I believe Bendis actually started writing in 90, or I don't know when he started writing, but he came on the scene in 1999. So I don't think it was like, he was an up and comer. Dragon Ball says, read Jeff Loeb comics. All right, well, find me a Jeff Loeb comic that I can read. That's on Comixology Unlimited or something you're willing to donate. And we will absolutely consider putting that. Make sure it's not too long though. Like I can't read these like 12 issue miniseries. Like 4 to 6 issues is best. SJW's ruining comics is fake news. No, it's self-evident. Some things are, yeah. Man, this beer is good. Good. RDV says, long Halloween, 12 issues. It's too long. I would love to do long Halloween. I think it would be fun, but I don't know if it's a good idea to do a 12 issue run. Although I have been here, I'll throw this in front of you guys and see what you think, since you guys are the ones that are here and you're the ones that do the most listening. So you really deserve to be considered. What if I did a 12 issue series like Long Halloween, but instead of reading 2 different comics on a session, I just read 2 issues of a single comic. So it was still a 6 episode run, but it was just doubled down for 6 episodes. So I could do Long Halloween, issues 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, and what if I did that? Would that be something that would be cool, or is it better to have like a variety? Because I was thinking of doing the variety of comics to help people not get pigeonholed. Like I try to keep a differentiate. I'm at a loss for words here. I try to keep the comics as a variety, and I try to make sure that they're different. So like if I'm doing a book like Lazarus, Ultimate Spider-Man is like a radically different style of book. Like I got one mainstream book, one indie, one that's kind of like, it's like Bendis, I guess I'll just say. And then we've got, the serious tones of Lazarus. So I'm trying to have that variety so that maybe you like one book, or, if you don't like one of the books, you'll like the other. But for example, if I double down and you hate the book I'm reading, then what's the point? So anyways, tell me if that's a good idea. If that's something you guys would be okay me doing, just picking a single book like that, like Long Halloween, not doing any other books, and just 2 issues a night. And I'll consider that. That'd be a really cool thing to do in October too, because Halloween. That's next month. Dragon Ball says, apparently Comixology sucks. Why is it? No. It kind of sucks, but Dragon Ball says, can't you put a camera above a book that you own and zoom in? Well, I could, but then I'd have to buy equipment to do that. I'd have to buy a camera, and I'd have to buy some sort of mount. And it just doesn't then, I mean, zooming in, like, it's really rough. You're talking a little bit more extravagance. Something I'd like to do eventually, but the digital makes it a lot easier. And like I said, I have Comixology Unlimited. No one needs to buy the membership for me. Maybe if you pick a book, or, some people, they get digital codes and they donate that stuff to me. And sometimes these books are on sale. Like some of these books, like, let's see what's currently on sale right now. There's a Dark Horse Evan Dorkin sale. The Marvel books especially, man, will be like dirt cheap because no one wants them. Like, here we go. Symbiote Spider-Man. You can get the whole first series of Symbiote Spider-Man, $2.50. Like, that's for a trade paperback, $2.50. Now, I'd never ask anyone to have to give me any money for anything that I do. But I also know that for a lot of people, $2.50 is nothing. If you wanted to donate a book and say, oh, man, I'd love if you read that on the channel, it costs you $2.54, for example, to donate that book. So you could, or you can just accept whatever I do for free. Let's see. Got some Hulk stuff. Look, you're getting World War Hulk for $2.54. Oh, it's actually on Unlimited, so you wouldn't even need to. My Hero Academia. Oh, I really want to read the Vigilante series. Anyways, moving on. There's Ultimate X-Men sale. Yeah. So, you're not wanting to see comics on sale. Let's get back into reading stories. RDV says Indiana Jones or Ghostbusters. I just, what, RDV, what I just said. I don't want to repeat myself. But certainly I would read Indiana Jones or Ghostbusters if it was on Unlimited or donated. So take that as you will. The next book for tonight is Lazarus, issue 3. And I really like this cover, by the way. It's pretty evocative. I like the reflection in the blood. Let's see. Dragon says, I'm sorry if I'm watching a review of Comixology on my TV. Now this is on my giant phone. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't know. If you have any questions on Comixology, I can probably answer them for you because I've been using it for years, but I don't know. Ronnie says, you could alternate the longer format books per episode with 2 different books. With 2 different books for 6 episodes. I'm not really sure I know exactly what you're saying. Are you saying that if I do a 12-issue series for 6 episodes, I don't understand how I do 2 different books? You could alternate the longer format books. Yeah, I'm not. You're gonna have to elaborate more on you. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm catching what you're saying. But in the meantime, while you're elaborating, if you choose to, we're gonna read Lazarus issue 3. Hopefully, you've been following along. This has been a pretty enjoyable book. This is what Venkman got me onto, and so if you hate it, blame him. And if it's my shitty reading that makes it bad for you, still blame him. I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. The world now lies divided, not amongst political or geographic boundaries, but amongst financial ones. Wealth is power, and that power rests with only a handful of families. The few who provide a service to the ruling family are cared for and protected. All others are waste. Forever Carlyle is the Lazarus of the Carlyle family, genetically engineered to be absolutely loyal and faithful to the Carlyle name, created to act as the sword and the shield to her family. Following an attack on Carlyle Holdings, her father Malcolm has dispatched Forever to Mexico to parley with the family Morey. Forever has been met by the Morey Lazarus Joachim. Meanwhile, the twins, Jonah and Johanna Carlyle plot against their father and sister both. Family, Part 3. Magdalena, Mexico. Family, Morey. You know what I just noticed too? I don't have full screen. No one mentioned it. You guys must not care. There we go. You will surrender your weapons and submit to a search. Population, family, 1. I will not. You will surrender your weapons and submit to a search. Population serf, 22. Population waste, 12,000. Or you will be restrained, and we will do it by force. Try it. Hold her, and don't be gentle about it. Much as it would amuse me to see the attempt, I would advise against trying to place an uninvited hand on Miss Carlyle. She is our guest here for now, and we will accord her the courtesy she is due. Mr. Morey, your uncle's orders are very clear on this matter. The capture of an identified enemy Lazarus is of the highest priority. She is a prisoner, not a guest. He's arguing with me. Yes, he is. Then by all means, Sergeant, do your duty. Your gun? Fine. And your blade? No. Your blade. Your aid. No. Mother of God, my arm, oh God. You are waste raised to service. But you challenge my authority in front of your men? I am Morey Lazarus. I am the Morey Lazarus. I am the arm of my family, and your ambition, Sergeant, outweighed your senses. You are now elevated to the rank of sergeant. Get this cleaned up and prepare for inspection. My uncle will be arriving soon. Forever, might I offer you some refreshment? That would be lovely. Thank you, Joachim. Compound Sequoia, family, Carlyle. Don't give me that bullshit, James. Population, family, 1. Population trade, 24. You track her all the time. Jesus. You and Beth never shut up about Forever's telemetry and shit like that. I didn't say I'm not tracking her, Jonah. I said I can't tell you where she is. You can't tell me? You fucking work for me. I work for the family, Jonah. It was my father, wasn't it? He told you not to tell me. I have work to do. The old man's not going to be around forever, James. You might want to think about that. Transmission ended. Call Malcolm Carlyle. Deet, 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 deet. Yes, James? Hello, sir. I have the telemetry update for you. Eve's been taken to the Moray outpost in Magdalena. Vitals are nominal. Very good. Sir, Jonah just contacted me. He wants to know where she is. What did you say? That I couldn't tell him. He wasn't happy. Continue hourly updates on my daughter, James. Yes, sir. Can you eat this? I ask because I assume your diet is restrictive, yes? I can, thank you. Guava? Are you having any? I'm not poisoning you. You have my word. I didn't think you were, Joaquin. I can't eat them. The enzymes interfere with my implants. I'm trying to remember the last time we met. When the talks broke down 5 years ago. Ah, yes. You were barely big enough to carry your sword. I was 14. Truly? I'd imagine you older. I was very mature for my age. I don't remember you saying much. Oh, sorry, I was wrong. I don't remember you saying much. I don't remember you saying anything. Yes, well, Father had forbidden me to speak. My uncle told me to kill you first, if the talks went wrong. My father said something similar about you. You were the first person that, like me, that I'd ever met. You mean another Lazarus? Yes. You've turned into a beautiful woman. Stop. I mean it. You haven't changed. Not that I can see. They've put me back together a few times since then. I think they make us fight so they don't have to. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to hurt you. Our families don't understand. No, they don't. That will be Uncle. Los Angeles. Family, Carlisle. I'm telling you, he knows. He does not, Jonah. He suspects. No, Joe, he fucking well knows, and he's using the Lazarus to be sure. She was seen riding south. If Father was sending her to attack, she'd have taken troops with her. The only reason to send her alone is to parley. Jonah, calm down. We're on the brink of war with Moray. All it will take is a breath to kiss the flames to life. You're not hearing me, Johanna. He's sent forever with a bucket of water. Thank you, Charles. My honor, Miss Johanna. You're dismissed. If Father sent forever to parley, he's conducting negotiations via back channel. Forever won't compromise family comms. She can't report to Father until she's back in Carlisle territory. So we kill her before she reports back. Blame it on Moray. Father will have no choice but to declare war. Boom. Done. I mean, really, brother, it's not that hard to track, is it? It won't work. Of course it will work. She's our fucking Lazarus. She can't be killed, remember? Of course she can. She dies like they all do. It's why they wear those silly swords. Just make the pieces small enough and there's nothing left to rebuild. Boom. Like I said. We'd have to hit her the moment she's back in our territory. I'll put Mason on it. Mobilize an assault team and double surveillance along the border. A sniper and a headshot could solve all our problems, Jonah. And ask Mason to pay Charles a visit. He heard enough of your tantrum to guess what's going on. And we don't want the waste tattling to Daddy, do we? What a wicked bitch. Damn. Sorry. I am More. I am the voice of my family. We are willing to hear you, Miss Carlyle, because we still remember and respect the Accords of Macau. We respect your father despite all that has happened between our families. But More will not be threatened. More will not be turned into another Carlyle dog. We will not roll over for you. So before you speak your father's message, this must be made clear. If your presence is a Carlyle declaration of war, you will certainly be the first of your family to die. But not by far the last. I am Carlyle, Mr. More. These are the words of my father. He speaks, "Greetings, Edgar, and to your son Brian, and to your radiant bride Anne Maria, and to the whole of your family. More's strength does you honor. But you cannot dine on strength, he says. Your people starve. Unrest is on the rise from Durango to Mexico City, and even further south. By our projections, your domain will face an uprising before the end of the year. At best, you will be weakened. At worst, your domain will fall. My father speaks. Carlyle offers normalization of trade with More, grain and seed, shipments to resume immediately. In exchange, More agrees to the following. First, prompt delivery of 18 Tarantula-class interdictors, a second shipment to follow in the same quantity within 6 months. Material, parts, and personnel, including instructors, to be provided, munitions excluded. Second, and last, my father speaks. You agree to immediately cease any and all communication with our youngest son, Jonah, whose treachery is known to us, as is your collusion with him. This is the Carlyle message to More. I am to relay your reply. For the interdictor, 6 months is not enough. Within the year, possibly, these would be the Mark IVs. Also, your low hydration strains for the grains, including the J73 and J74 variants. The Mark V's, delivery as stated, in return for which we grant J73 and K17. Pending testing to prove the strains viable. This is satisfactory. And to the second point, your brother is dead to us, as he is now to you. More agrees. Carlyle agrees. Good. Then this business is concluded. Can we persuade you to stay for dinner, Miss Carlyle? At least to share a drink with me and my son. That is very gracious of you, Mr. Moray. But I am sure you understand that I must return home as soon as possible. Of course, a pity, but of course. Your father will want to hear about this in person, no doubt. You never know who might be listening. Lazarus? Yes, uncle? You will see the Carlyle Lazarus safely out of our domain. You will leave at once. Of course, uncle. It will be my pleasure. Someone doesn't look happy. Is there a problem? No problem. None at all. GPS says we have just crossed into your family's domain, and since it may be another 5 years before I get to see you again, I thought we might perhaps take a moment. A moment for what? For sharing a drink of water and a sunset. For saying goodbye. I'd like that. Do you... Shh. I thought I heard something. Badoosh. Damn. Let's see how many pages they have at the end of this book. 3, 4, 5. Damn. Next, Family Part 4. All right, I like that one. Make sure to borrow it. Oh, it's going to make me return something. Return that. Let's get to the chat. And let's wrap up tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those books. I enjoy reading them. There's something about reading a comic book out loud that is just a different experience. And I know you're probably not going to do this at home by yourself. It'd be weird. I don't do it by myself. So having this channel and having this opportunity, it's fun. When you read a book out loud, it forces you to read it at the proper pace and the beats. And sometimes I don't know about you, but I do this all the time. If I'm really caught up into a book, I just catch myself like blasting through it, which is fine for consuming information, but you lose that pacing, especially if a comic is well done. So not all comics are, and it doesn't really matter, but the comics that are done well. Let's see what Maranya elaborated. Do the 12-issue series for 6 episodes. Then do the 2 books per episode for 6 episodes. Rinse and repeat. Ah, thank you, Maranya. That's now crystal clear. I see what you're saying. I think what I'll do... Well, I'll see with the other feedback, because you're the only one that's really giving me feedback on that. But my first instinct is to try out a 12-issue book in that fashion and see how it works. You know, or if people just go, I'm out. Because it might work really well if I do something really good. But if it's a book that everyone's read before, it's not interested, then no one tunes in. I don't know. Not that I have a huge viewing audience anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Let's Let's see. Dragon Ball says, I see other people doing good vids just holding a cell phone over a comic and reading it. Well, Dragon Ball, first of all, I'm not recording this on my phone. It's hard to do a live stream on a phone like this and interact with chat and do everything like just doing a cell phone. I have in the past done videos, like doing a video on a comic and review it with it, but just holding a cell phone, it's tough. As far as other people who do stuff, you have to realize that people have equipment that maybe that's set up to do these things. I've seen people using green screens, GoPro cameras on mounts, and doing different things that on the screen it may not look that like big of a deal, but there's a lot of things involved that I'm not necessarily in the position right now to go and invest on that side. It's interesting though that people suggest I spend quite a bit of money, potentially hundreds of dollars on equipment to film it because they don't want to donate a few bucks for a book. Again, no one needs to pay anything. I'm not monetized. I don't, I do everything like this for free as my hobby, but also if that's going to be the case, like respect that as well. Like, everything here is, freely provided. I'm not funded by anyone. Let's see. Let's see. Crypto Comics channel, old videos are example of just reading comic. Check it out. Let's see. RDV says, how high are you? I don't know if that's a reference to. RDV says, no lesbians in Lazarus. I don't know. I'm not convinced yet because this is a Greg Rucka book. There's got to be lesbians somewhere. Let's see. Dragon Ball says, I like Die best, and it was still kind of lame. I'm sorry. I've read some really good books on this stream. Die was one of the lesser ones that I've done. So I recommend, if you like seeing these books, go back and see the Birthright ones. The Birthright episodes were some of my favorite. Those are good books. RDB says, I like Ash's Mexican voice and his female voice. Oh, do you now? Damn, this is good storytelling. I like the cliffhangers and the pacing of Lazarus, says Maranya. Yeah, I agree. Rucka is a professional. I mean, he's a quality, like, mainstream, right? He's been around for a while. He knows what he's doing. Up until his brain went crazy in 2016 when Trump got elected, and now you're just like, I won't read anything from Greg Rucka that's 2016 or later, unless it's strictly recommended to me by someone I trust. His Lois Lane series was atrociously bad. Dragon Ball says, I'm sorry for sounding rude. You don't sound rude to me. So I'm going to say one thing clear here while we're on the end stream thing. I am a very blunt individual. I'm very non-tactful. We've talked about this. Like, I'll say things, and I'm not trying to be rude either. I just express my feelings. I do not get triggered or upset because someone didn't like a comic book that I like or whatever. What you said was that Die was lame. That has no bearing onto me. Now, if you said, Ash, you're lame, then that would be rude, right? That's a direct attack on me. So yeah, you feel free to have your opinions. If you hate any of these books I'm reading, even if I think it's the best things ever, all that is a difference of opinion, right? I may argue with you. I may try to persuade you to think differently, but I'm not going to think you're rude. Being rude is really about the intent of what you're doing, right? If you're intending to insult someone, if you're intending to demean them or disparage them, that's rude. If you're just trying to express your feelings without intent of, being disparaging to the other person, then that's not rude. But some people take that as that way. And so I understand. I appreciate you expressing that, your feelings on that. I wasn't a big fan of Die either. I did appreciate some aspects about it, but I have no intent on continuing that story. And I bought those first 5 issues because so many people recommended that book to me. It's just not for me. Not every kind of tea is I don't know what I'm going with that. Marani says, I'm looking forward to the next episode. I'm happy to hear that, Marani. As long as one person is enjoying what I'm doing, it makes what I'm doing worth it. Like I said, it's fun to read these comics out loud. I know I'm not super great at it, but it's fun just trying. It's fun trying to do voices. It's fun trying to do dramatic reading. I know that I'm not a pro voice actor or anything like that. I don't pretend to be. But hopefully, I like talking about comics, and that reading these books, it facilitates something to talk about, right? Now we all can talk about Lazarus together because I just sat and read it to you. Now you can have opinions. We can talk about what you liked, what you didn't like, things like that. Same thing with Ultimate Spider-Man. Sometimes you might come into a conversation and, like, before I read the books, you might not have any clue. Like we were talking about Star Wars earlier. You might be a person who's like, I've never seen Star Wars in my life. I have no emotional investment in this conversation at all. It's not interesting to me. So hopefully, I don't know. That's what that is. See, Jimmy's here. Hey guys, right on the end of the program. Hello, Jimmy. Let's see. Dragon Ball Talk says, I'm chatty. I talk a lot. It's in my name. Right on, buddy. I identify with you. I can relate to you. Jimmy says, I'm listening to Dune on Audible after this. Cool. I really want to reread Dune before the movie, but I'm reading Way of Kings right now, and it's like the biggest book I've ever read, and I don't think I'm going to get done with it anytime. I'm technically listening to it on Audible, and it's 57 hours. 57 hours. Now I do it usually when I'm working and I'm on the road. So I get like an hour session. I can't just like sit at home and listen to a book. If that's the case, I think I would just read. But so it's tough. I can only listen to like an hour a day. So that's like 2 months of listening if I listen to it every day. And so what? That's the movie is supposed to come out in December. So if I just do the first book and then I do Dune, I think Dune's like 30 hours on Audible. And I'm very curious, actually. I have Dune on Audible. I bought it like a couple years ago. I think I got it on a sale. I very much want to listen to it because I read it many years ago. I read it like 20 years ago. Well, more than that. I read it in high school. Jeez, it's been forever since I read Dune. So I've been wanting to revisit it, and now that the movie's coming out, I'm like, so yeah, Dune is probably the best sci-fi book I've ever read. I'm so excited for this movie. I can't even tell you. There's 2 movies. Well, previous to Dune, I didn't think Dune was going to come out this year. There was one movie I was looking forward to this year, and it's Tenet. Was the number 1 movie. James Bond and what's the other one? Top Gun Part 2, or the sequel to Top Gun, whatever you're calling it. I believe those are 2021 films. So those are films I'm looking forward to as well, but I'm kind of discounting them because I don't think they're coming out this year. And then I heard Dune was coming out in December. So I'm super excited. However, I don't think movies are coming back, so I don't know. Jimmy says, Dune is 21 hours if I remember correctly. I used 1 credit. Oh, okay. Well, cool. 21 hours is it's shorter than 30. It's I don't actually care that it's long. It's just more of, can I cram it in? Because I want to get it. I'm not going to wait to see the movie. As soon as I can see the movie, I'm going to see it. Ash, don't forget to get a hold of Friday by Heinlein. You and RDV got me interested in Lazarus. I can only return the favor. All right, I got to put Heinlein on the list, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I got so many books. And this Way of Kings, by the way, this is only the first book in a series. And it currently has 3 books, but Audible just announced like the 4th book is coming out in November. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm really enjoying the book too. Brandon Sanderson is easily catapulted into my top authors of just people I have to read all their books. I love his writing. Let's see. Dragon Ball says it's probably free on YouTube, Dune audiobooks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to pirate. Besides, I already own it on Audible, so I'm good with that. Let's see. From what I hear, if Dune does well, then they will make the rest of the series. Well, I would gather that anyway. That's just the way Hollywood works. Like, oh, we made $1 billion. How many more books are there? Like, of course, they're going to make sequels if it does really well. However, I don't care, because way back when I read the book in high school, I had to read it for a writing class that I was taking, and we had to do the final on it. And my teacher, who made us read the book, was like, "Don't read any of the rest of the series. Just read this book and stop." In her opinion, she said that the rest of the series that comes after kind of ruins Dune. And I was like, oh. So I've never, ever delved into the rest of the books. To me, they don't exist. But I might consider reading them now after the movie comes out, because I've enjoyed Dune as a standalone for so long that I don't think it will necessarily ruin for me, because I know what it's like to have it as its own thing. I don't know, but we'll see. I honestly don't care. All I care is that the movie is made. I didn't think this movie was going to get made, because especially after Blade Runner 2049, which lost shit tons of money. I was like, oh man, is he going to be able to do Dune? I don't know. But it got made, and I'm like, it's in the can. This movie could make nothing. This movie could bomb and be the biggest bomb of all time, but it's done. I don't need sequels. I'm not going to miss them. I just want this movie, and I'm going to be happy. So yeah. Let's see. The difference between Audible and YouTube is the YouTube someone reads it to you. Audible is like a show for your ears. And that's not entirely true, Jimmy. First of all, not every Audible book is a full cast presentation with sound effects and things. Sometimes it's just a narrator reading a book. In fact, most of my books I have are that way, to some professional voice, narrator reading the book. Some of them are full presentations, and that's getting a little bit more popular. And oftentimes the YouTube books are just a pirated, someone just basically goes to Audible, gets the book, plays it, and records it on YouTube, and then they're just pirating. So you get the same thing. I don't see the argument of a movie could ruin the book because you still have the book. What do you mean? Well, what I mean is, because the movie taints your perception and what you remember of the book. And the best description I have for that is Harry Potter. I read all the Harry Potter books, and I love them. And now when I think of Harry Potter, when I try to remember, all I can remember is the movies. Because the movies and the books have so intertwined, it's hard sometimes to separate like what was different and and how it changed. And like then I'd have to go back and read the books all over again. Movies don't always ruin, but if it's a big enough thing, and movies don't always ruin an experience. And sometimes I'm fine having both. If the movie is well done, you know, then it can coexist. Like one of my favorite movies, I love one of my favorite books of all time. It's also one of my favorite movies, The Hunt for Red October. The Hunt for Red October, the book, well, the movie it's similar to the book, but also messes with a lot of stuff. Like it leaves a lot out and just change, but they're both so well done that I can appreciate them. Conversely, every single other Tom Clancy movie that was adapted has ruined, because the movie were so shitty, and now that shitty, like Clear and Present Danger is one of my most hated movies ever. I love that book. That book brought tears to my eyes. It's so great. And then I watched that fucking abysmal movie, and now that experience of the movie has poisoned my recollection of the book because I can't separate the two. Like, so I have to go back and reread Clear and Present Danger again to undo it. And I just don't want to have to do that. Let's see. Hopefully that at least explained whether you agree or not. Well, yeah, but for Dune, it's like dull cast. That's what I meant. I don't know. I haven't heard the Dune version yet. I have Dune on Audible. And sometimes there's multiple versions, too. Like, for example, American Gods, which is probably a book you're interested in, Jimmy, because it's Neil Gaiman. You can get just the book that's read by some guy. And then they also did another version that's the full, like a cast recording. They did the same thing. I actually own both of them for one of my other favorite sci-fi books of all time is Ender's Game. Oh, Ender's Game is phenomenal. Do not watch the movie if you've never read the book. Just please, that's a movie that will ruin a book. If you've read the book first, you can see Ender's Game, whatever, and it's fine. But you will see the movie, you haven't read the book, it will spoil the book and will not give you the payoff like the book does. So then you're like, well, I can never read the book and get the payoff because I already know the spoiler. So yeah, but Ender's Game, I have the audio book, which is actually 4 different voice actors. That one's kind of interesting. They use different, not voice actors, but narrators, to read different segments of the book that are focused around different characters. And then they did a full audio recording, which was also very interesting because it wasn't the exact book. The Ender's Game audio recording is done like a movie where they actually wrote a teleplay for it. So that's actually a different experience. It's actually an adaptation of the book. It's not like some of these other ones. It's kind of like, I guess you would say what they did with Sandman. It's like a teleplay. It's not the exact adaptation word for word. Let's see. American Gods is absolutely fantastic. It's part of my collection. How was the full cast production? I haven't heard it. I just know that there's 2, and it's on my wish list, but I don't know which version to get. I'm totally undecided. I'm like, so, and I'm so behind on books that there's no reason for me to add it right now unless I get like a super sale or something. True fact. That's my husband's submarine shown in the film. The one where it shoots up out of the water. He was in the Navy and they filmed the submarine doing the maneuver using the footage. Oh, that's awesome, Maranya. I love that. I love that movie. So good. Too bad they couldn't put all the scenes from the book. There's some really cool stuff in the book that they didn't have room for in the movie. Let's see. Quirk says Jack Ryan is amazing. In Hunt for Red October, I agree with you. None of the other movies. And that show on Amazon is like barely watchable. I've started watching that show because I'm like, okay, This is all original stuff. It's not adapting like Tom Clancy's books, so I can handle it. But because there's nothing to ruin. But man, that show is so like progressive. It's like Americans are bad and Muslim countries are actually the good guys. Anytime there's a full cast production for Gaiman's books, they are normally great. You want to see a great one, check Gaiman's Neverwhere with James McAvoy. Oh, I believe it. It sounds, I mean, Neil Gaiman is very much a writer who's also a reader. And he's very much seems to care about the production of his stuff. So I can believe that. Let's see. I heard submarine operators see unknown radar blips miles deep and are banned from coming forward. Oh, perhaps. Condor is better. It's only available on DirecTV. I don't know what Condor is. I'm assuming Condor is some sort of international thriller like the Jack Ryan's show. I don't know. But I think that's going to wrap things up for tonight. It's after midnight here, which means for you East Coasters, it is really late or really early, depending on your point of view. Eric Breen is probably watching reruns of baseball games. He hasn't fallen asleep yet. But if he is asleep, we wish him sweet dreams. Thank you guys for joining me this long. I know it can be long and late. I appreciate just giving me the moral support to have someone to read to, talking shit about comics. I hope you guys are reading some good comics right now. Like I said, get you some Oblivion Song. I really want to do a show on Oblivion Song. Let's see. What are the best comics out right now? Oblivion Song, Birthright, Hawkman. Ascender. Ascender. Let's see. I'm see if I can get a top 5 of the best books that I just like get excited when they're out. Let's throw Daredevil as number 5. So that's like my top 5. Like, I don't know. Firepower might make it on the list. The Firepower graphic novel is not to be missed. It's $9.99 before any discounts, and it's 160 pages. It's 8 comics worth of content. It's one singular story, brilliantly paced. I did a review on it. If you're not sure, if you want to get more information, watch my review. I do not spoil the book. But the series that's out right now, it's got 3 issues out right now, is good, but I don't think it would win you over if you hadn't read the graphic novel first. Maybe. It wouldn't win me over. I guess I'm speaking for myself. But it is good, and the graphic novel shows me where the potential of this series can go. But it's kind of a slow burn on the issues at the moment. And I know where it can go, so I'm really looking forward. I'm definitely sticking with it. Kirkman is one of the best writers in the business. I don't know how he can write so many books and maintain the quality. So that might take number 5 away from Daredevil if it goes back to the quality of the graphic novel. But hopefully you guys are enjoying some good comics. Looks like Jimmy agrees with me on one book, Oblivion Song, in the top 5. Those other ones, Firepower's on the fence. The other ones, not so much. And I was a little disappointed on the last Thor book. But that is what it is. We all have different strokes for different folks. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Have sweet dreams. And I look forward to seeing you on the next stream, which should be Tuesday.